Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The News.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to News in the Junkyard. I'm your host, Jack Husling. Alright guys, tonight some fun stories for you. First and foremost, a mural that cleans the air? What? In fact, this is true. So special photoreactive paints have been developed, and a really cool mural has been put up in Warsaw, Poland. And this specific mural in Warsaw, Poland, does a really good job cleaning the air. It cleans approximately as much carbon emissions and all that stuff out of the air as 300 trees would over the course of a year. So really cool there. What's interesting is this is part of a much bigger project going on in Poland and indeed around the world. To eventually, the goal is to be able to clean as much air as 3,000 trees with the project in around the Warsaw area. So as they continue to put up those murals, air quality goes up. This particular one is painted on the side of an apartment building, which is adjacent to a public transit center. So there's a lot of carbon emissions and stuff like that coming out of that transit center, and they are then impacted positively by this mural. So Warsaw, the second city in the world to put up a mural like this. The first one was in Bangkok, Thailand. There are now 15 cities around the world who have undergone projects to put up murals like this with the photocatalytic paints. So these paints are activated by the sun, and they can function for about 5 years after they're put into place. So at that point, they would have to come back and repaint the design or change the design, whatever, but put new photoreactive paints up in order to continue the air quality project. But I think it's really interesting because oftentimes when we think about, air scrubbers, they're giant devices, they're equipment that are put on top of buildings or, in various places around the city that scrub all of those pollutants and emissions out of the air. The problem with those is everything that gets scrubbed out of the air then has to be dealt with because these deposits are now put into filters and so on and so forth, and they're not super efficient. Additionally, those pieces of equipment are powered by electricity, which in many cases is generated by pollutant emitting methods. So photoreactive paint doesn't need any of that. It literally needs sunshine, and then it'll work. So really cool. This particular mural features smiling flowers and just beautiful bright colors and so on and so forth to remind the citizens that see it that this entire effort is to beautify the city and clean the air at the same time. So really good job. Super excited to see projects like this cropping up around the world. We can clean our environment and beautify our cities at the same time. Very cool. For our next story, unfortunately the video wouldn't play. Many of you noticed that the show was delayed today. It was because of technical issues getting this video to play. However, I'm very excited to talk about this. This woman that you see behind the play icon that won't go away is Aracelis Hernandez. She is from Peru originally. She now lives in Georgia. And during the pandemic, she had some financial troubles. She was down to her last $10. She went to the grocery store and bought the ingredients to make some empanadas, which is a passion of hers. She made about 50 empanadas, went out onto the street, and sold them. She made enough money to buy some more ingredients, made more empanadas, sold those, so on and so forth, and eventually made enough money to start her very own business, something that she previously never dreamed of being able to do. So she opened the Crazy Empanada, which is her restaurant. She is super excited about the place. Everybody who's been there says it is an amazing experience. The food is fantastic. They say that she is always smiling and super happy to greet customers and just loves to share her food with everyone that comes in. She also said that it is her goal to make everyone who comes into the restaurant feel like they are in Peru and they're eating Peruvian cuisine, and it's just an amazing experience for everyone. She also promises that no one will be able to forget the experience they had in that restaurant. Interestingly enough, I was in a Mexican restaurant in Minnesota once that I will never ever forget, but that was for not the same reasons as we're hoping you will always remember the experience in the crazy empanada. I will never forget my experience because of the gastrointestinal issues that came along with that. On a side note, if you go into a Mexican restaurant and the people working in the kitchen are not Mexican, reconsider your choices. Yeah. I'm not saying that many people can't create very nice Mexican food, but it's not likely. All right. So, yeah, very excited for her. And the big thing about this is she got down to $10 left. And she was like, nope, I'm going to do something with this. Bought ingredients, made empanadas, sold empanadas. Now she's worked all the way up to having her own place. So if you're sitting back there thinking, man, I've got this talent and I've got this passion, but I can't do it because I don't have money, or because the odds are against me, or whatever other is going on in the world, the reality of it is she did all of that in the middle of a pandemic. So, what you waiting for? Right? Just something to consider there. Okay? In the comments, the paint is probably nuclear. It is not. Prepare for fallout to be real. There are worse things that could happen, I suppose. Yeah. You said pay for your sins. I've been playing a lot of Far Cry 5 lately, and that's a very heavy theme in that game. So, yikes. All right. Let's have another news story.
Ladies and gentlemen,
oh my gosh. I am so excited to share this story with you. So the image that you see on screen is from Tera and Zach's wedding. This lovely couple was married on August 15th, which was Saturday, at the Holy Cross Church in Fargo, North Dakota. They then had their reception at the Wild Tera Cider Bar, also in Fargo, and it was awesome. Here's why we're talking about this on the news. So much of what we see in the world today is negativity. It's, this bad circumstance or this tragedy or this accident or whatever, right? We have got to learn to celebrate and get excited about the positive things that happen. So even though there's a pandemic going on, and even though there's safety regulations that have to be followed and all kinds of stuff going on, these two young people still found a way to put together an absolutely beautiful ceremony and reception to celebrate their relationship and their love. And I am going to silence my dogs. And it was a great wedding. It was really great. It was super beautiful. The bridesmaids' dresses were awesome. The groomsmen looked great. They had a live band at the reception. And generally speaking, I'm not a fan of reception bands because I don't think they ever do a great job. But these guys were really good. They weren't over the top. They didn't go crazy with the self-promotion. The music fit. There wasn't any weird, Adam Sandler style covers of pop songs to make them wedding-ish. There was none of that. It was awesome. The food was really good, and we were at a cider bar, so that was awesome. It was really cool. And I was super proud of myself because I came up with a great hashtag for the event. It was Once Upon a Time. Because that was the groom's last name. But anyway, so hit that heart button a number of times and just give these guys some love for, getting married, right? Hopefully that's something we only do once in our lives. I know my wedding was freaking awesome. You guys won't get to know about my wedding again until my anniversary comes around, where I do my annual sit here and watch my wedding video with me because I am in control of the show. But yeah, congratulations, Tera and Zach. You guys are awesome. Super great wedding. Super honored to be invited and be a part of that. And yeah, share it on the show. Why not? It's my show. Ladies and gentlemen, that is this week in the news. The Fists of Arkan is the debut novel by author Jack Kiesling. Action, adventure, and personal challenges are the focal point of this immersive book, set against a backdrop of war.
Deep character development and wide perspectives explore social issues relevant to the real world. Dive in and discover the answer to the age-old question faced by leaders many. What kind of royal will you be? This is a paid advertisement for Jack Kiesling Books and the Fist of Arkan.